equipment going. Yeah, everybody loved it.
I always find that those stories
We're live,
you
by the
hear.
way.
Yeah.
Oh, hello everyone. I always find
everybody.
that those stories you hear from, I don't know, you might be listening to someone like George Harrison or the Beatles or Jeff Lynne or whatever it is. Some people who are huge, who are so influential, and they started off just as kids. You know, it's just the rest of us. They just started off exactly the same. And
everybody wears pants, you know.
Yeah. They'll tell you their story of how it happened, you know.
Yeah.
And I find those stories really inspirational. You tend to find hearing those more often through the music industry than you do through the comic book industry. Especially seeing as there's probably more similarity between people's breaks in the music industry, unlike the comic book industry, which is how do you get into comic books is pretty much like how do you escape from prison. It's never the same twice, is it? Because they're always plugging up the holes. So it's not quite the same thing, but I find that incredibly inspirational. Just to hear, you know, it happened to me that day. You know, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, one of my favorite YouTube stations is or channels is Professor of Rock, and he goes through and interviews all of these guys, and they're all like going, "Yeah, that's exactly what you were saying. We were sitting in the studio and didn't know what to do, so we just did this."
Yeah,
it turns into a #1 hit. You know. Yeah. Just crazy. We had 3 minutes to fill on an album and we didn't know what to do. And it turns into the biggest AC/DC song you ever heard.
But damn it, it was genius. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the best works ever created are just, you know, inspiration. Accidents and just, happenstance.
Yeah. They had a interview with Burton Cummings from the Guess Who. And he said that American Woman, the song American Woman, was started because he was out in the parking lot doing he wasn't buying drugs, but he was buying something from a fan. And the guys were waiting for him to get up on stage, and they just started playing this guitar riff and just played it over and over again. And he walked in on stage and just made up words. And it turned into American Woman.
That happened with U2. Bono arrived at the studio, and the Edge was tuning his guitar, and he did that really high. I don't know the guitar thing, but the really high notes on the what's it called? Can't live with you or without you. With you or without you.
With or without you. Yeah.
And you know that high guitar at the beginning of it. Well, that was Bono was just arrived coming through the door. And the Edge was tuning his guitar, and he said, "We've got to get that down and put it on that song."
The Edge. I
remember, like, when I'd be jamming with the band or something, and we'd knock out something awesome at the end of the session. But like, did anybody record that? Was the tape on? And they're like, "No, we just." Oh, it's like, what did we say?
Can you remember it? No, man, I was stoned.
Just keep the tape on.
That's how they got American Woman, is that there was somebody in the audience with a cassette player boombox, and they put out an open call to see if anybody had recorded it, and one fan had, and that's how they got it.
Yeah, you would get that these days.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
But the Beatles did that with the Beatles, didn't they? They recorded it in a day. They recorded the entire album in 12 hours because it was basically their stage show. And the last track is Twist and Shout. And John Lennon, he had to get it in that take because after that take he didn't speak or couldn't speak for 3 days.
His voice was blown.
His voice was gone because he'd been singing for 12 hours straight, screaming. And they got it in that take, and they said that if he didn't get it in that, it wouldn't have been on the album.
That's why it's as rough as it is when you listen to it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gargly.
Yeah. Come on in, everybody. We see you out there. We're going to look at some Shadow comics today from the 1970s, done by the great William Kaluta.
Wait a second. This whole podcast here isn't about music? Like, wait.
Not at all. No.
That's tomorrow's.
That's tomorrow's, yeah. We're going to be looking at the Shadow. I wanted to get #1. I thought I had a copy of it, and I couldn't find it in my long boxes. But I did find 3, 4, and 6 that were all done by him. Kaluta had a hand in. Bernie writes and helped, I think, with 1 or 2 of them. And if there's any time left over, I figured I've got 5 and 8 here as well that were done by Frank Robbins that we've already looked at that are something completely different. the cool thing about Kaluta is that his style really lends itself to the era of the 1930s. So the shadow came from. It's very almost Art Deco-ish and a very stylized stuff. It's phenomenal work. So we're going to run
covers on these too.
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay.
And the first issue cover, I don't know if I have a copy of that handy or not. No, I thought I had put it in to the queue here at I can dig it up, but the first issue cover is very iconic.
Before we get started, did you turn on the Facebook stuff and we're good across the
No,
board?
I didn't, but thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank God you're here, Whiskey.
Yeah.
Well, you never know who's listening at 5 a.m. Especially off of my Facebook page. Yeah, good luck. I'm going over there now. Let's get this fixed. Fix it now. All right, let's see if we're even on this morning. I had a rough time posting the page last night. There it is, public. Now we're public. Come on in, anybody out there? Facebook is live as well. Come on in. He said jumping over to images here. Oh, that's not the book, or that's not the picture I was looking for. You type in The Shadow #1 and you get all of these indecent pictures.
Yeah.
Sounds like my website.
It's not The Shadow I was looking for. Yeah.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not that one. That one.
Good morning there. Welcome to the show.
Morning, folks. Come on in. There's the first issue cover. Let's see if I can blow that up some. You see that all right?
Yep.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
Me.
The shadow knows. Just great stuff. Anyway, today we're looking at shadows. That's a 3, 4, and 6. Boom, there we are. Great, phenomenal art by William Kaluta. I think Denny O'Neil wrote the majority of this. Wrote the majority of it. And here's the opening. In the middle of the night or early Friday morning, depending. Here's the opening.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with the...
Yeah. If you're not familiar with the shadow, you're truly missing out.
It should be, yeah.
It should be. Very much the inspiration for Batman, for a large extent, thanks to, is it Bill Finger? Great Bill Finger. Started out as a pulp hero, pulp magazines. Such great artwork, great cover work. There's another great cover here. Murder Every Hour and the Time Master. You find these collected if you're lucky.
Nothing like being dependable.
Yeah. pulp magazines. Not a lot of illustrations. There's a few illustrations there. They reprint these faithfully off of the originals, so you don't get the you get all the illustrations, all the original illustrations. Maxwell Grant, but it doesn't match the work we're about to see today.
But saying that, those illustrations are so beautifully loose.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Charcoal even.
They're great, aren't they? Yeah. They're a bit sort of Colin-esque, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Look at those folds on the coat at the bottom. Really sort of Gene Colan type, and shading as well.
The shadow. Yeah, the feathering down
school.
Here. Yeah.
Great. Oh yeah, very much so. Yep.
I think
1920s.
Colin's a little better though on the
He's a lot better.
He is, yeah. But you can see what I mean.
But yeah, it's got that vibe to it. Yeah.
Murder Every Hour. Originally, these stories were 1935.
Wow.
But lasted for quite a few decades. The Shadow did as a pulp magazine, and became there was a comic for a while, and the big thing was the radio play that they did that originally had Orson Welles on it, and then had a few other actors come through as it went on.
Orson Cart.
Yeah.
Orson what?
Orson Cart.
Orson Cart.
Yeah. That's what Elton John had his credit on "Don't Go Breaking My Heart." It was Orson Cart and Carte Blanche.
Oh,
that was Bernie Carte Blanche.
Orson Carte Blanche.
Orson did the Shadow when he was in his early 20s.
He did everything. He did everything. He did everything in his early 20s. He did War of the Worlds, I think, when he's 24, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Whiskey.
I think he was 26, 27 when he did Citizen Kane. So.
Yeah.
This cover here is just masterful. You have the malefactors on the left there trying to force the young lady into the chair. It's just, the angle of everything, the slight tilt of it with the slight worm's eye. It's the artistry of the it's just freaking beautiful.
Yeah,
the kingdom
but beautiful
of the Cobra. Yeah, meant to be, with the Shadow looking on ominously.
That guy pushing that girl in that chair's got Russ's hat on.
Get in.
See him? Yeah. He's got your hat on. Yeah, your black cap on.
He's either a geezer, okay, or he's a Pinky Blinder or whatever it is.
Peaky Blinder.
Peaky Blinder.
Yeah. This is William Kaluta with Wrightson inking.
Wrightson inking.
Wrightson, good lord.
Wow.
Can you see that well enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
So.
Yeah.
We have a number of comments by now too. We should.
Oh, see, you made me knock my camera.
Oh no! It's Whiskey's fault.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. HR is in the house. Hello, I'm just in.
HR is in the house. Oh no! Mind what you say.
Kaluta
not that kind of HR. Sorry.
I think he writes and have some pages in there. I can be wrong. I believe he inked it. So you'll see a lot of influences from both folks in this. Orson Welles, the Shadow radio show. Haven't heard of it yet. Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
That composition there, that page, I'm getting Will Eisner from that. The way that guy in the brown is doubling back, really exaggerated violence, or action.
See a lot of bendable figures in this.
Yeah.
I like that the combat isn't, the Hobbit movie-esque, if you ever seen that, where it's just over the top and ridiculous kung fu. It's just a good hammer fist to the face. There's no style there. There's just passion, if you will.
Yeah, have it.
Outside of great artwork, the reason I wanted to show this off, and sorry for the yellowing here, but this has been in a long box out without a bag or a board since the 70s. So
you don't have to apologize to us, Randy.
A lot of this material, as far as I know, has never been reprinted. I don't think any of this stuff has been reprinted, and it should be. It should be a large, treasury or artisan edition, because the detail work on this is just incredible.
To further expand on the point, I've always disliked over flowery, like martial arts scenes, like Jedi stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When like in a real fight, it's always messy. It's always like rolling around on the ground.
But it's not as entertaining.
No.
I don't know.
But it can be, because that's why that Indiana Jones thing is when Harrison Ford had the runs, didn't he? And they had that big fight with the guy with the sword, and he said to him, Stephen, why don't I just shoot him? And he said, yeah.
Do
it.
do it.
And it's because apparently when he shoots him, he runs off to the loo then, because he's got the EVGs,
It's like the Nolan Batman movie. Okay, they had some quality martial artists involved in the choreography of that, but the camera was in so close you couldn't see anything.
Yeah,
and so it became messy. Yeah. And I know what he was trying to get at. He was trying to create a realism even around the fact that it was high level martial arts, but it just ended up being a little bit messy, that you, from a viewer's perspective, that you couldn't see. Whereas, so for instance, the scene in the Batman versus Superman film with Batfleck, okay, where he comes through the window and beats all those guys up, which is quite commonly thought of as the best Batman scene on film, as far as playing the dark, gritty version of the Dark Knight. That is completely open, and you can see all the action, and it's played really, really well, and it makes you think that's Batman. He's beating the living daylights out of these guys,
Yeah.
So it's difficult, and it's difficult to portray that in. It's difficult to portray that on a comic book page, because as a martial artist myself, so I know where you're coming from, Whiskey, because I know you have trained as well. You want to get that kind of gritty realism into something, but at the same time, you've got to flow the story and make it attractive to the reader as well. So it's definitely a balancing act that you've got to do throughout these action scenes.
Mm-hmm. And this is an example of how it's done so masterfully and so realistic. And like it's not Return of the Jedi or not. No. Sorry, not Return of the Jedi. It's not the Jedi. The first, what I'm talking about.
I know
it's not that nonsense. It's not that nonsense. There's a sense of gritty realism here that not over the top. It's just guys flopping all over the place because it's how people move.
How they get hit. I did see a funny. I've not seen any of the Ahsoka thing, but I just saw one clip where somebody was having a bit of a pop at it, and she came up to hit something with a lightsaber, and before she did it, she did this little 2-foot tumble, and it was like 6 inches off the ground. It was like, why did you do that? There's no force involved in that. There was nothing involved in that. It looked like something that a cosplayer would do outside. Like, take a picture of me quick. Really weird.
Have you seen the deliberate mistake on this page, this right hand page?
Deliberate mistake.
Well, I say deliberate mistake. Look at the top panel where he's coming through the door. The guy with the gun, the guy with the gun on the right, he's right-handed, and then he fires it left-handed.
And he cocks it with his left, and
then he's back right-handed again.
Yeah, isn't that weird? That's because that's the way you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
He's an ambidextrous crook.
Yeah. Just flips it from one hand to the other.
Yeah.
Look at that, you got me. Bang.
Check me out.
Idiot, you got me. Crack. Brilliant.
Let's see. Denny O'Neil wrote this, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, Denny O'Neil.
That first page is just excellent.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It's all there.
Yep. It's got everything you need.
I was expecting a blimp to be flying across that skyline. Then.
Yeah.
Have an auto gyro every once in a while.
Yeah.
Burbank down here. He's a big character from the books. He's the operator, kind of oracle character.
Yeah.
Sits at a switchboard and sends people where they need to go.
Wow. Those buildings are cool too. How they sort of flare up
on a curve, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. It's such an angle to them.
Just makes it visually interesting.
Yeah.
And on the previous page, the guy, how he socks him too. He just hits him, and there's just that's just great. That one back over. There you go. Left panel.
Yeah.
Left side. Right there.
Yeah.
That's just great, isn't it? To whop. He's not flying through the air doing his kung fu. He just chins him.
We'll get to kung fu in a bit. So
yeah.
There's a bit of a ninja.
That stranger cover looks really interesting, doesn't it? On the advertising page there at the top. Yeah. Come on.
It's a great Jim Aparo again.
I didn't realize DC had such good work.
Oh, Aparo is amazing. Just incredible stuff. He did, and he was one of those workhorses that was so underrated. We need to look at his stuff. His Spectre is completely unbelievable. Who wrote that? Michael Fleischer, I think, wrote it, and it's the most violent, crazy stuff you've ever seen. Just incredible work. Very moody, very vindictive. And then his Phantom Stranger work that he did for a few years is also amazing. He worked on the Phantom for quite a while for Charlton when he first broke in. Aparo did. And then went on to do Brave and the Bold forever because he could draw anybody. So he did Brave and the Bold, I think, for a good 10 years. He just had a crazy run on it. Did Batman and the Outsiders, I think, after that for about 2 years before Alan Davis come on it. Just phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
The Kaluta, on the other hand, he did a lot of short stories for House of Mystery, House of Secrets. Because of the atmosphere that he had. I fondly remember his Carson of Venus. That was a little backup strip that they ran in Weird Worlds and in the back of Tarzan. Very, very much in this style. Very almost Art Deco looking.
When's this published, Randy? Is it early 70s?
This is early 70s.
Right.
That's right. I believe it's 75, 76.
Right.
76.
Because that Commandees there doesn't look to be drawn by Kirby, so he must have left at that point. But I might be wrong.
Anything after 50.
Right.
No, it looks like Kirby.
Right. I can't see it very clearly, you see. Right. Okay.
Get the camera to focus. Focus.
Mate, that's making me seasick.
There you go.
Yeah, that's Kirby.
Oh, it is Kirby, yeah.
Yeah. Just a great era. GI Combat by Kubert. Phantom Stranger by Aparo. Here's Brave and the Bold, also by Aparo. Commandy. House of Mystery by everybody that has time to do a short story. Just some great underappreciated art here. More noir. I love the.
Yeah, it's a real sort of 30s style of artwork, isn't it?
Very much so.
Like you were saying, this Art Deco thing.
Yeah. And there are times to me that the two of them kind of almost clash. They don't come across 100%, and yet at other times that it's just phenomenal to sit and look at. And right across from one another. Crazy. Again, thin lines here to drop the background back. to emphasize the foreground, the important elements.
Russ, it's almost in a style of David Lloyd, isn't it?
Yeah, a little. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The blacks and things.
Yeah.
Like that, the woman on the left-hand page at the bottom on the phone.
Sorry.
What?
What did David Lloyd do?
He did V for Vendetta with Alan Moore.
Oh, okay.
He's a very. I think he uses photographs a lot, but he's a very, very odd style.
Did Night Raven for quite a while for Marvel UK.
Right.
Kind of a detective question spirit type character. Also, he's very known for his real heavy shadows and his noirish look and feel to it. V for Vendetta is probably his best known work, but I don't think it's his best work. He's done a lot of other side stuff besides that. He did quite a bit of stuff for 2000 AD, didn't he?
Yeah, he did a bit for that. I think he's currently running Aces Weekly, which is an online comic.
Oh, okay.
So he's been doing that for quite some time. I've got a couple of stories in there.
Cool.
It's good stuff. It's real indie stuff, you know. But he has people like Staz Johnson and Jock in there, and like he has some well-known artists turn up occasionally.
Is that's a subscription?
Yeah, it's a subscription. I think it's like a £1 a month or something. It's really
cool.
small.
He's been able to do that for a while. Then you said,
yeah, he has. Yeah, it's been going on for quite some time. It should get so much more attention than it does get. I don't know why it doesn't.
So it's digital.
Yeah, but like considering the whole sort of Shonen Jump thing at the moment, where everybody's been screaming about, oh, look what manga's doing, and you know he's been doing it for yonks.
Yeah, that's a whole different attitude, though.
Yeah,
you know the kids lean more towards the manga material, and Shonen Jump was part of that. But
yeah, and I understand that, but the indie stuff that he's had on that platform is all really different to what you'd get at Marvel and DC.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's just considering that so many people, including indie people, have been banging on about how we should learn from manga and how we should do this and how we should do that, and he's been doing it. So it's just goes to show you who's in vogue and who isn't.
Yeah, well, I'd never heard of it before you mentioned it.
No, the people should be shouting about it.
Yeah.
Now we can.
Yeah,
now we can. There we go. Look at that. World's greatest weekly all-star lineup. Menominee Falls Gazette used to reprint adventure strips on a subscription service. You get a newspaper mailed to you once a month, and it was a beautiful, thick newspaper filled with adventure strips.
Look at those adverts.
So many.
It just reminds me of being a kid. Those adverts.
So many. That man has got dynamite strapped to his stomach.
Always a good idea.
Those
it's a fashion statement.
Yeah.
This tilted panel at the bottom there.
Yeah.
What's other than just for fun, what's the intended purpose, you think?
Of a tilt?
To make it interesting.
Sliding, yeah. To make it interesting.
Interest and drama.
Yeah.
A tilt often adds to a drama.
And it can also get everybody in as well.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's just about spacing, but
it just makes it nice to look at.
If everything's straight on, it becomes dull very quickly.
I guess it also leads to the next page, sort of.
Yeah, it's kind of got that Z composition here working.
My personal karate. My personal theory is that with a lot of artists, especially the great artists, it happens far more randomly than focused.
Yeah.
A lot of the time we can look into that and go, oh, look at the way that's leaning into that, or it's pointing towards this.
Instinctual, actually.
And I think a lot of it is instinctual, and it just happens, and they just do it.
Yeah.
Because I think if you thought it out all the time, there's no doubt that there is stuff. So like some of the stuff we looked at on Watchmen, there is absolutely no doubt that there were angles put in on purpose, okay, to lead your eye to do certain things. But I think most stuff is done instinctually, and it just pops out.
We'll take a look at some Jack Cole Plastic Man sometime real soon, and you'll see how it just screams. You use Plastic Man to guide your eye all the way across the page in the most weirdest ways.
I wouldn't suggest for 1 minute that kind of thing is not done on purpose. What I mean is like angles within panels.
A lot of times the artists are also trying to keep themselves interested too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think so much of that kind of thing. I think you can pick out specific items like a Plastic Man or like, you know, Watchmen or whatever. We can go, oh no, that was definitely done on purpose. And then so much of the other comic book stuff, especially when it's done by artists who are just so brilliant, it's just coming
instinctual.
Out. It's just coming out, and they're popping in these angles because they know it's going to keep the panel interesting. It's going to lead the eye on, not because they're like, oh right, which angle should I put in? You know,
That's rarely here.
My theory, anyway.
A steady cam at all.
Yeah,
on this.
My two
straight on shot here, kind of a lower shot here, but you're moving jumping all over the place.
Are they
very static?
They're in a prison cell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one bird's eye, 1 point perspective, I guess it is, where he's coming across the table, is excellent. It just really nails that claustrophobia home.
Yeah. Again, very Eisner-esque here. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Got some
and no comics whatsoever. It's country and western classics for sale. Yeah. This is back when comics were still 20 cents. There we are. Just again,
HR's got a
HR's really coming through here.
I was just saying HR's got another comment there.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Tilted despair.
Yeah.
Tilted despair. A little bit of plumbing. Okay. Shadow.
This obviously came out before Watchmen, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
10 years before Watchmen.
10 years, yeah.
Is this a plumbing thing, like overhead shot like that? Has that been done in any other
Yeah, I was getting
some
sort of Steranko vibe from that.
Yeah.
From Shield, you know, that
I was getting a Steranko vibe from some of the shading earlier.
Yeah.
But I mean that guy with the moustache, that's so Wrightson.
It is. Very right.
And that hand in the middle panel, right in the center of that right-hand page, yeah, look at that. That's just a great hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder why he doesn't cover his nose. Just, I know he doesn't, but
because it's too big.
It's too big.
Breathe. Yeah, it's too big. He can breathe.
He's got a bigger nose than Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
And that's saying something.
Yeah.
But that was always a trademark for that character, though. They always did that.
Yeah, it's Basil Rathbone.
These old paintings, he's still showing his nose. That's very classic shadow there.
Yeah.
All the Steranko paintings, it looks exactly the same. If you see that, Steranko did a good dozen paintings for the paperback book reprints. Just phenomenal.
So they can't tell who I am. I've covered the lower half of my face.
Exactly. With a bright red scarf, too. But At this point, the character could cloud men's minds anyway, so that nobody saw him.
Damn it, it's better than a pair of glasses.
Yeah, exactly.
Sock.
I just take my glasses off.
There you go. That's the way it works. Oh my God, you're Superman.
Yeah. It's a great sequence in the latest Superman TV show, Superman and Lois. He reveals himself to Lana Lang, and she's like, I feel so stupid.
I bet she does. She reveals himself. There you go.
Well, he doesn't flash her or anything.
It's Me Too moment.
I've got something I've wanted to tell you for years.
Flash.
And it's like I'm Superman. It's like, no, you're not.
Did that what's she called in Young Frankenstein? Did she go whoa in the background?
Von Brooker or whatever it is.
Terry Guy, isn't it?
Yeah. I need to sit and watch those Mel Brooks movies again.
It's crazy, isn't it?
You know, I can help you with that hump.
Werewolf.
Yeah.
Werewolf.
What
hump?
Oh dear.
Nobody
Right.
loves me.
Yeah. The only other joke I remember from that is nice knockers.
Yeah.
Abby
They come up
Normal.
to the door.
Abby Normal. Ah! Everybody should be required to watch that film.
Yeah.
That and Blazing Saddles. Get a
And
sense
he-
of
and
humor.
Blazing Saddles.
He insists on being called Frankenstein, doesn't he? Because he don't want to be
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Gene Wilder's great.
That's honestly the best line in that thing is the one hump.
Yeah, that's
Or the walk,
That
the
is-
walk this way gag that they keep pulling.
yeah, it's just like dragging your foot across.
Great worm's eye view shot here.
You know, maybe one day we should do a movie or something for Sunday Funnies. A classic.
I don't think we'd be allowed to show it though, would we?
No, you can only do
Yeah,
watch-alongs, can't you?
Yeah,
It's-
you'd be walking a thin line on that.
Yeah.
People are so copyright conscious anymore.
Plus there's a clue in the title of the show.
Well, I thought about showing some of the theatrical serials because some of those are just phenomenal. We can talk
yes,
over them and
serial.
probably chase off the copyright. They're so badly done. Nobody really wants to take copyright responsibility for some of that stuff. So you find just about every serial up on YouTube, and there's been some pretty cool ones. The Captain Marvel one is pretty good, especially considering their budget. They had to take a mannequin, dress him up as Captain Marvel, and slide him on a wire in order for him to look like he was flying. Yeah,
Captain Marvel.
great stuff like that. But the costume was pretty accurate, and the origin was kind of accurate. Yeah. Enough to piss DC off to sue them. So start that big court case working. There we go.
I wonder how many times the companies have sued each other.
Oh, all the time. Goodman was always being sued, wasn't he, in the 50s?
Well, back then comics were so incestuous anyway. Anybody had a decent idea, everybody was stealing it. You know, as soon as Superman came out, Eisner was contracted to do Amazing Man, and Wonder Man came out from Fawcett, and National was throwing cease and desist left and right. And then they took the guys who did Amazing Man to court with Eisner. And Eisner, I think the story goes, Eisner was on the stand. He says, "Oh yeah, we ripped off Superman. That's what I was told to do, and that's what I did." So that's how they lost that case.
It's funny.
God damn it! Somebody told the truth.
Well, it was under oath, you know. Since if they reprint it, I wish they'd put the black in the gutters. It would be perfect for the shadow. Yeah. Actually, a nice bright white reprinting of this would be ideal.
I think it'd be great without the colour.
That too. Yeah. Especially this stuff that
Yeah.
writes and inks on it. And Kaluta is just, he inks himself really well too. This must have been a time thing, and reverse some text. Yeah.
Well, we were saying on the Gibbons stuff in Watchmen that without the color, there was a lot more fine cross hatching that we saw.
Oh yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of that in here.
Yeah, that was what I was looking at.
This is just beautiful line work here.
Yeah,
just all the way through. The inking on this is it's all right, and it's amazing. So
he's wonderful.
One of the best. This October we'll go through his Mutants book. I've already got it set aside. His Mutants book and his Frankenstein book, or Frankenstein.
Oh, Frankenstein! I've got that.
Frankenstein.
I've got. I tell you what, I've got. Is it Monsters?
I'm going to say, has anybody got that Barry Smith?
Monster by Barry Smith?
Yeah.
Monsters.
No, I don't. I passed on that a couple of times. I didn't like the way it looked.
I've got Monsters by Will Wrightson.
Yes.
Right. Sorry, Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
It is. Yep. The Mutants book is a lot of his early fanzine material before he started working for Warren or DC. Very, very much Wrightson. Very, very. It's where he figured out his style. Some gorgeous stuff. Yeah, when I was gophering for him, Frank Durabanti, just to drop names. Frank Durabanti,
drop him, babe.
The guy who directed Shawshank Redemption,
Wow.
came up to him and wanted him to come up to his room and sign some originals that he had. And Bernie was stunned because it was stuff he hadn't seen in decades.
Wow.
Just early Warren and early fanzine stuff that he dug up. He asked him where he got them, and all Durabanti would do is smile at him. He wasn't going to tell him where he got it, because they probably disappeared originally from Wrightson's hands.
Oh, that old Thompson gun.
Yeah.
Some great touches. Hey, you can hardly see that there because of the blue.
Look at that.
First edition treasury size reprints of some classic comics. Those were great.
All the shadowing down that hallway.
Yeah.
With the grates. Yeah. That's just brilliant.
Extra noir. Yeah.
Extra noir, please. How much noir would you like with that? I'll have extra noir.
That's right. The age of the super spectacular. Just 100 pages of fun.
Look at that. That's great.
Oh, that 70s stuff from
even color can't harm it too much.
I like that slim panel in the center there.
Mm-hmm.
That's just nice.
Come on in, everybody. Hit that like button up there. Appreciate it. Glad you're here. Reverse some text. Yep. And monochrome. Yeah. Okay. Don't forget the chat's open.
Chit chat
away. Those 100 pagers, though, when I was a kid, that was it for me. 60, 75 cents for 100 pages of comics.
Yeah. Great, aren't they?
Used to absorb those, especially because they dig up the weirdest stories for backup. Or like this Superman volume, for example, is almost all Swan. Had a mint green cover on it, background. But
very strange.
And all the stories were really off kilter, very bizarre magic based stuff. I remember it fondly. I think I've got that issue of Detective Comics too. All good stories like that end in a building blowing up.
Of course.
No, he's not dead. Look at that.
Of course he's not dead. He's the shadow.
Yeah.
Wow. Surprised they didn't roll a laughter all the way across that too.
Yeah.
Letters columns, folks. You don't see those anymore. The shadow.
No. They'd either be full of abuse,
trolling,
or they just lie. So
Well, some of them letters were made up. So.
Yeah. We love you, Stan. Yeah, right.
Exactly. Of course, the
Evil
Knievel ad. Yeah.
Oh, I so wanted one of those.
How great is that?
My mate had one. I so wanted it. He even had the truck that it like did the flip over. Oh.
Yeah.
What's
You wind it up, gear it up, and then let it go.
Let it go. Off it go.
Evil
Sometimes it's
Knievel. Go
run a
ahead.
good 100 yards, you know.
Yeah,
Football
it's
field.
good. Yeah.
Back when they didn't care if the kids, you know, it's like a miniature sander, that back wheel. If you, you know, wheeled it up right, wound it up enough.
He's standing on his head on the motorbike.
Yeah, he's doing tricks.
Now it'd be like there would literally be warnings on the side of the box saying, don't try and replicate this.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you try and replicate it, you may give away the game. You're a moron.
Remember, kids, Evil Knievel is a trained professional who's broken every bone in his body.
Twice.
Twice. You don't want to do this. Yeah.
My fiance recently picked up a Happy Meal, right? And there was a toy in it that was made by Nerf. And she was like assembling it and putting it together. And it's just like, it's this stupid toy, like this disc rolls down a track, and then it's supposed to, you hit the trigger, rolls down the track, and it's supposed to go into a cup, right? Well, we're just like, and we're like, there's like, because of the curve, there's like nothing. It goes down pretty fast, but if like the curve wasn't there, it could like hurt you, right? And then she's just like turned it upside down, I guess, so that the curve was aimed at my face. She's like, "Aha! I weaponized it, right?" And then she hit me right in the eye.
Oh,
I'm like, "Oh!"
I thought you were going to say she ate it.
No, she just hit me in the eye with the disc, right? And
you're going to marry this girl, are you?
Yeah.
You didn't say that. You said she was a girlfriend.
Fiance.
Oh, it's your fiance. Oh, God.
Go.
All right then, mate. Never mind.
So she's trying to take your eyes out, and she's only got two. She only got 2 goes at that, and you're going to marry her next week.
Not next week, but yeah.
He's still keeping his powder dry. He's not quite sure.
It sounds to me like she's not quite sure she's used to that. just a joke, Whiskey. Just a joke.
I know. We've actually been together for like well over 5 years now. We just haven't got around to getting married yet.
I've got a son-in-law like that. He's had a significant other for about 20 years. They might as well be married. Yes, they haven't gone through the ceremony. This is all William Kaluta here. Death is Bliss. It's got 2 writers on it, though, Denny O'Neil and Len Wayne. It's shadow number 4. That bent pavement. And again, the wheels aren't on the ground there. In the front. Yeah. Show movement. Could win a $5,000 scholarship. Big money back in those days.
Yeah, actually, it would be. Yeah.
Could have almost gotten yourself through college like that.
That's great. But that bottom 3 panels where he goes, "Hang on, we're gonna crash."
Yeah.
Brilliant. And those 45, the barrels going back, isn't it? Where it fires, it fires. The top bit goes back. Yeah, That's great, isn't it? Great, cool. Great lighting on that first panel as well when they're driving.
Yeah,
it's great, isn't it? I like to see this in black and white as well.
Yeah, this is all Kaluta here. Buy a bunch of stickers and drive your parents crazy. Stick them on your walls. Superhero stick-ons.
Stick on.
Stick your favorites up against the wall.
And you get them, and they'd be like 1/3 the size.
And they never stay on the wall.
About half the size that they're showing there. Yeah, come all rolled up or folded in an envelope. It's a Neil Adams. Actually, those two are Neil. That's Gil Kane there. Infantino. You're probably there as well. Kurt Swan. Anyway.
Yeah, 14 for only $250. Your parents
Yeah,
would be
only
like,
$258. Or yeah, $250.
your parents would be like $250.
14. Yeah. $250. I ain't buying that crap for you. That's too expensive.
What a waste of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were right.
Yeah.
You could stick them on your car, kids.
Oh dear.
Oh,
You could stick them on somebody else's car.
Your dad will be pleased about that.
Yeah.
How could you go wrong for $250? With this. This has got a lot of great detail that's just slaughtered by monochrome coloring.
Yeah.
the car one is great because whoever put that there knows that they're going to scrape him off.
They peeled off. They didn't have that hard a stick 'em on it. So you could peel it all off in one piece. The vinyl back then was a lot stronger as well.
Oh, they're vinyl based?
Yeah. Vinyl, printed on vinyl.
Yeah.
I would say laser cut, but that's long before they were able to laser cut. They probably had to have some sort of stamped die in order to cut it.
Frickin' laser beams.
Yeah, frickin' laser beams.
Or just
great treasuries back in 74. Bigger and better in 74. With a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could have sworn that said 76 on the copyright on that. The ad here says 74.
Look, there's Russ again.
Where?
Yeah.
Oh.
Bottom.
Wow, what a nose.
Yeah. Well, we've never seen your profile, Russ.
Yeah, it's not like that. I do have a broken nose, but it never looked like that. So
again, it looks like they were expecting. Kaluta was expecting a lot of dialogue here along the top. There's a lot of open space there.
You only get a broken nose when you get hit.
Yeah, just the once.
Just the once. Yeah.
Look at those hands. The
just
hands
amazing.
on that middle panel on the previous page. Look at that. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great, that.
Had like an eyepiece.
Yeah.
Monocle.
What is it? What is it? What is it for, that? Why does he wear that?
I think it's he got damaged
Right.
either in the war or something, and that's to help him see.
Right. So it's not something he puts on. He's the bionic man.
It's a
Yeah.
prosthetic.
It's kind of a prosthetic, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But Burbank, yeah, he used to be the operative. Shadow would tell him to tell everybody else what to do.
The panel underneath.
He'd either call him or sometimes he would drive a taxi as well.
The panel directly underneath that. Did Vince Coletta ink that?
Here?
Yeah.
Oh no, because it's got solid blacks on it. What are you talking about?
But I don't know who
this beautiful little line work back here. Coletta would have just blobbed it and erased the background.
I think maybe some editing was required there.
Here?
Yeah.
That's some pretty
maybe
hard,
move some of that speech over into the next panel might have helped.
That's some hard dialogue working there. Yeah. Might have been why it required two writers. I don't know.
All they had to do was put that bottom panel, this text box, in the next.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's all they
Shuffling
needed
it
to
down.
do. Yeah.
In that corner. So
Yeah.
Well, you didn't want to get rid of that detail. That's beautiful. The building back here.
He spent 4 days on that, so he's not
gorgeous,
ripping that
yeah.
out.
Well, he probably spent a good day on this right here. That panel.
The whole black
I'm saying, and
space.
this is all detailed in here. It's just beautiful line work.
Yeah.
Done. You might not be able to see that through the camera, but it's gorgeous. got a very old feel to it.
Excuse me. Yeah, the whole like black space just above his hand there could have been utilized.
Yep.
And again, that's it's the shadow. So what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna put the dialogue here? Down
right
the corner,
in the black
probably.
space.
Yeah.
I just put it right in the
You
center.
had all this open space here too, that you could have used.
Could have moved one up and then.
But yeah, definitely that should have been broken up. But you really didn't want to get rid of that detail as well. Drive the letterer crazy. Cranston here. With the karate ed. Mummy. That's Kaluta right there. Just solid, very much Kaluta. That in the last page. That's his inking style. That's just Kaluta at his height, just peaking.
His jowls are intense.
Yeah, that's a flabby man.
It is.
Is he a bad guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those the bandages over the face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Negative man.
Real Karloff, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sock. These adverts are fantastic, aren't they? I want to get all these things. Look at them.
I was just looking at the karate one, and I like if you look at the stance, so he turns his foot at the lower, right? When you're doing like a standard kick in karate, you basically turn your foot in that direction. You like snap your foot to pivot to give it an extra push on the kick.
You push the side of your foot like that?
No, the standing foot. You move it. You pivot it backwards so that you can pivot your hips. But the big toe on the other foot, on the striking foot, I wish I could do that with my big toe.
It's a real Ditko Spider-Man toe.
Yeah. I can hit with the ball of my foot, but damn, that's a big toe from would love that big toe.
Would love that large rubber bat.
Everyone's got to have a large rubber bat.
Look at that advert next to it where the guy's coming out of the box. Just his hands. Look at that.
Is that a money box?
It says it pops right out of your
bank,
pocket and crawls up your shirt, sweater, etc.
It's over 7 feet tall.
Wow,
brilliant!
Oh dear.
Russ, did you do Shotokan or Shonryu?
I used to do Shotokan when I was a kid, and then I did Taekwondo, and then I ended up doing Wado-ryu. And now I do Kokonaru, which is the Korean way, which is a mix of Korean karate and Wado-ryu.
Interesting.
Juan, hope you're doing well. The Shadow. That's my favorite. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
How tall is that guy? Like 8 feet?
This guy here?
Yeah.
He's a tall man. He's got a rather nice stripy top on.
Yeah.
How big's a doorway? Because he's leaning.
Exactly, yeah.
He's a big fellow, isn't he?
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
It's
a bit like that guy from Sherlock Holmes, the first Sherlock Holmes films with Iron Man in.
Basil Rathbone?
No, the recent ones.
Oh. Couldn't tell you.
There's a big French guy in it. He's massive.
Oh, the guy that was I don't even remember the movie with Natalie Portman, her first film when she was a kid.
Leon.
Oh no, it wasn't him.
Leon.
No. Not me.
Leon the professional.
Those eyes.
So a standard doorway is typically
6'6", 7 foot.
7 foot.
7
Yeah.
foot. 6.8 to 7 feet.
Yeah.
So 80 to 84 inches tall.
He's a big boy.
Chapter 2, Grave Secret. Oh, bugger. Beautiful shot there. More shadow. Chance to buy 6 LPs or 5 tapes for only 99 cents. No obligation.
Bloody
Wow.
bargain. No
They just
obligation.
Mailed it to you and charged you anyway.
Steely
no
Dan, Jim
obligation.
Croce, Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, Osmonds, Curtis Mayfield, Isaac
Hell.
Hayes.
Helen Reddy.
Fraser, horses.
Zeppelin.
Wow.
The
Yep.
band.
Fantastic song.
The
That.
band.
Love the band.
It's the best Osmond song. It's probably the only one I like.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
a daft
crazy.
song.
Like
Yeah.
the horses. Brilliant.
You know what? I think I'm going to draw. Is that a mailbox?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
More, this time the bandages are a lot more unkempt here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fancy mailbox because it's all worked within the ironwork of the railing.
Yeah.
That's very fancy.
It's almost, I wonder if he did that, like saw that in life somewhere and it's like, yeah, I'll just take that and throw it in a book.
Probably a
think-
30s reference.
I don't think it is because there's another one further down, so I think it's just part of the fence.
I think he just made it up.
Maybe.
I'd have made it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's
not?
just something he's just made up. Just got, I'll do something interesting and made it up.
Well, we did talk about the Art Deco period, right? Like, so
Yeah.
the whole period of culture was fancy art everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fancy schmancy.
That's when this story takes place. They make reference to the windsock. Seaplane.
I love
Thousands.
planes with. Go ahead.
$1,000 paid for this 6-cent stamp from Disney.
Wow.
Look at that. It's got a little light run on the black plate here on the printing.
Look, I like that. These 3 big drafting kits given to you.
Yeah.
High paid job in drafting. Dun, dun, dun. It's like the Billy Connolly adverts, isn't it? Save pounds with this.
Hey kids, do
big
you like
slipper.
you could draw buildings? Yeah.
Get a high paying job in drafting.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Just in time for 15 years. Once you learn the craft, 15 years later, everything's done on computer.
They taught drafting in the I think wood shop when I was in school.
Yeah.
And then exactly that happened.
Took architectural drawing in high school. Yeah.
They're very specific on the letters and consistency. Make sure all the letters are exactly the same.
Oh yeah, that's one of the first things I did at design college was lettering. You had to do you like if you used Letraset, you failed.
Yeah.
You had to use like paste down lettering. You had to be able to draw a typeface, literally draw a typeface.
We had a letterer working for Arrow Comics back in the late 80s who had spent 6 months at or half a semester, I think, at the Kubert School because he could afford it. and he came out as an excellent letterer. That's the main thing that he learned the entire time he was there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the trouble with the Cubit school is it's if you've got enough money, you can get in.
Yeah, that was the big thing. That was the only school teaching any type of sequential artwork at that point, and it was super expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen multiple profiles online with Cubit School in it, and looked at the work and gone, right.
Yeah,
I don't think I missed out.
Well, to have that kind of instruction by the people that were working at that were instructing at the school would have been priceless.
What I'm saying is, some people, it doesn't matter how much instruction you give them.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
A lot of the I've talked to a couple of the Cubert school. I did some podcasts with them. Von Coleman's, the younger chap in the comic scene, goes to all the conventions and stuff. He's most of his friends and stuff like that hangs over in the Cubert school or from the Cubert school. They kind of wear it like a badge of honor. Like,
yeah, I'm sure it ends up being with not casting any aspersions on the people you may or may not know, or I don't know these people, but often these kind of things can turn into a bit of a clique.
Yeah.
But it was definitely an in though at Marvel in DC to have gone there.
Well, so it was definitely an in if you had enough money, or if you lived in the US at the very least. So not a fan personally.
Again, another great collection of 100-page super spectacular.
I couldn't go, so I'm not happy.
Yeah.
The bitterness coming through.
So I ended up getting married. Cost me just as much. So.
Yeah, well, that's not my
not to mention the mental abuse. So.
To be honest, though, I've looked at some of the work of these individuals, and some are great, and some, like the rest, are far superior in many ways.
Thank you.
But I'm biased, yeah. all you're showing at the school is the tools, and the techniques, and how you adapt to that is all up to you. Some people do and some people don't. The big thing that I pulled out of folks who went to Kubert school is a lot of them ended up drawing exactly like Joe Kubert.
Yeah, which is no great problem. Except things come in waves, don't they? And Joe Kubert, I mean, at the moment, isn't so? For instance, talking about older guys getting work, Ron Friends is getting work at the moment, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
On Spider-Man and what have you. But there's a whole bunch of artists out there who are fantastic, who are not getting work, and it's like this stuff, this Conan stuff at the moment that I'm seeing. I know it's not the same artist now, but the first couple of issues were done by a guy, I can't remember his name, but it looked like John Buscema. It was bloody amazing. And if you'd have asked me 10 years ago or 15 years ago, do you want to do that? Do you want to be just like John Buscema? I'd have said, oh my God, yes. I'd have chopped off my other arm for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now I would not.
Yeah.
Because I want to be me, as much as I love John Buscema. And so as masterful and as amazing as that Conan artwork is, and it really is fantastic, you look at it and think that could be John Buscema. I'm not remembering the artist's name. I'm just remembering Buscema's name.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to be unique. That's in no way a criticism of the talents of people who can draw in a way, sort of like channel these genius artists. So in their own way, they're genius artists, but I wouldn't want to do it.
I hear you. Yeah. I had to check our local shops and see if I can find those Titan books.
Yeah, I'm going to have to
be
get
really
them
good.
They have changed. They're not all the same artist.
Yeah.
So I think I'd like the Buscema-esque ones, simply because the nostalgia aspect. Not sure about the rest, although I have heard that they're all really good.
I really like the Sumerian books that Ablaze does.
Yeah.
The packaging on that is just first rate, and
Yeah.
the artwork just really reminds me of the great European sequential artists, like the guys who work at the Brunelli books, that kind of stuff.
That one you showed me the
beautifully
other on Twitter, Whiskey, by Chuck Dixon.
Oh yeah.
Is that a graphic novel, or is that a novel with some illustrations in?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Which book is that?
Chuck Dixon is doing Conan books.
Over for Titan?
No, I think it's independent.
Oh, I wasn't aware.
Publisher is Castilla House.
Oh, there you go. He's got a publisher. So.
Okay. What is he? Is he adapting or doing fresh Conan?
I think he's doing fresh.
It's a Caravan of the Damned, I think, is the
Yeah.
is the
I
novel
think it's all new stories. Yeah.
Wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Which explains why
I didn't think you could do that without. It would
if
all
he's got
depend
a
on how you
publisher,
did the character. Yeah.
Yeah. If he's got a publisher, then they've probably got a license.
Yeah, that could be too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to figure who the artist is.
Well, in fact, they'll have to have a license, won't they? They'll get a cease and desist. So, he's obviously got license to do that.
Depending upon what they're doing with it, the character isn't. The character is in public domain, but you'd be treading a real careful line.
If anyone can do it, Chuck Dixon can do it.
Well,
Doesn't say who the artist is.
That's weird.
Unless he does it himself. I don't think he does.
No,
I don't think he does. No.
He just says he pens it.
Yeah. Here we go.
That's kind of shitty they don't mention the artist.
Again, that's crazy putting that ha-ha over that face. Why don't they do it in the black area?
Yeah. Well, they want the shadow. The shadows.
Mind you, he drew that on.
It's not on the road at all here either.
I reckon. Do you reckon that ha 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 is actually on the artwork?
Oh yeah, and I know it is. Yep.
Yeah, I would say
that's a janky face he's got going on under it as well. So
does anybody know?
Maybe just got fed up.
I can't make that out. Joe something or other.
For what?
Artist.
From where?
The Chuck Dixon stuff.
Spell it.
It's like I'm pretty sure it says JOE and then IWIRL maybe E, and then I can't read the rest.
What's the book title? We can look it up on Amazon.
The Siege of the Black Citadel, Chuck Dixon, Conan, #1. It's so hard to make out.
Look it up under books.
Quite a few people are doing Conan kind of style stuff.
And there will be a lot more.
Yeah.
As we go along. Siege of the Black Citadel. Chuck Dixon and Admir Leal. Admir Leal is listed as a contributor. Mad Emperor is upon the imperial throne of Koth. Danger to his subjects and Koth's neighbors alike.
Yeah, I think we could see a lot more fantasy going on soon.
First volume in the Chuck Dixon Conan series. Let's take a look at that artwork. Oh, that doesn't look bad. It looks pretty hot.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, paperback on that's only $12.95. Is that a comic story?
I'm not sure. No, it says
Castelia House from February of 23, February 24th. It's 134 pages.
When I looked at the article about it, I found an article as well, and it just said novel. It didn't say graphic novel, so I wasn't 100% sure.
The first review is the Conan we all wanted and deserved.
Yeah.
Excitement online was palpable when the first title first became available. I initially thought it was to be a comic because it was written by Chuck Dixon. The cover further cemented that assumption. When I asked directly, Chuck confirmed that it was in fact a prose novel.
Right.
And that revelation, I had to get my hands on a copy with that revelation.
What's the difference between a prose novel and a comic?
Well, comic, prose novel's written. It's a written straight up novel, regular
prose
paperback book. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But those illustrations suggest that it might be it has illustrations interleaved into the book.
Yeah, the cover looks like a comic illustration.
The cover looks like a comic, but the other illustrations look like they might just be spot illustrations.
Yeah. Cool.
I can do that. Gets a job.
Yeah, do a series of plates for it. Yeah. Anyway, interesting.
Sorry for the interlude there.
Oh, no, you're fine. Conan is in public domain, so I'm sure that's what he's doing. Onward, ever onward. Shot the gun right out of his hand. Ping.
They always say that it hurts in the movies. Like you always see the guy clasp their hand after they get the gunshot out of it. And there's never any blood or anything like that. I assume it hurts like a bastard.
You hit the gun, you don't hit the hand.
Yeah, for the vibrations from the
pew pew. From the pew pew.
Yeah. Well, it's a gunshot, right?
So great. Yeah. Some wide open space there. Corners are bent. That's not good. And again, the black plate on this is incredibly light. It's a lot of gray work in there. Nice shot, though. Ha ha ha. As he goes running off. Blam. Resolution in 9 panels.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, not often you get 9 panels on the last page of a comic, is it? He obviously needed 3 more pages.
Plus a big explanation here. Yeah. Did it? Okay, we're flying away. All right, we're going. Ha 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 ha. Another letters column.
Wump.
Should check those and see if there's anybody's name there we recognize.
That plane would be fun to fly.
Was he dropped him into a grave?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, just dropped him. Yeah.
So he dropped him out of the plane from 500 feet into a grave.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And then flies off to sort of either a black hole, the sun, or the moon. We're not quite sure.
Probably the moon.
Yeah.
It's a shadow after all. So it works at night.
Crime does not pay. Wump.
Yeah.
Imagine the gravediggers coming back the next day to put somebody in there, and he's already in. I'll just put it on top. No.
Do you ever see the movie Mulholland Falls?
I've seen Mulholland Drive. I'm talking about.
Pretty sure it was Mulholland Drive. Was that was the one that Lynch directed? Yeah. No, this was another one. Mulholland Falls, I believe it was called. Takes place in old Hollywood.
Right.
They end up finding this girl that's played by what's her name? She's married to Bettany now. Back when one of the last movies she did, back when she was beautiful and cute.
It's harsh.
I know, I'm sorry, but she lost a lot of weight and she lost all of her looks when she lost that baby fat. Jennifer Connelly is in it. Right. And I think John Malkovich is in it. They end up finding her in the middle of a construction site, flattened, and they think that she's been run over by a steamroller. And by the end of the movie, you figured out that she was pushed out of a plane from high up.
Weird.
Believe it or not, it is a great movie. As morbid as it sounds. Cary Nord is a great Conan artist. Yeah. There's a Tarzan, Buscema, Copycat, Benito,
Galliejo.
Yeah. Yep. That was Shadow number 4.
Woohoo!
Death is Bliss. Now, here we go. Night of the Ninja. Shadow number 6. Sorry, this copy is kind of beat up, but
no, it looks good.
It has been well loved.
Night of the Ninja.
This is back during that Manhunter period that, every great mysterious character had to deal with throwing stars of one part or another. Killraven had him, Manhunter had him. Batman was constantly dodging them.
Like their Night of the Ninja in Chinatown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Wait a second.
Remember, too, this is the 70s, so we're dealing with all of those tropes and stereotypes. So.
One of these things is not like the other.
What is that, a samurai sword? Of course, we must have that. It's in Chinatown. Ninja. Great noir here.
Oh, dear.
Shadow again. I believe this is all Kaluta again.
It is, yeah.
Denny O'Neill, writer, William Kaluta. You can't see who did those colors. Oh, Raconteur. They don't give a colorist.
Whenever I'm playing like an FPS game and they give me the option for take a sword, I always take the sword.
What's the alternative?
Well, you get a gun. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Big gun.
Right.
Usually you can switch up your inventories nowadays anyways and have multiple items. But I always use the sword because it's actually extremely effective at close combat. A lot of gunfights tend to get in close. So as a like rapid fire weapons, they just work better closer. There's less chance of missing. So in those really close quarters combat ranges, a close quarter weapon is sometimes more effective than actually a firearm.
Right.
Correct.
And the other players in those games don't expect it because you're suddenly in their face with and it gives you an advantage.
This has almost got a Frank Robbins appeal to it. It's almost looks like one of his layouts there. Correct.
It's like that scene in Star Trek Troopers. Put your hand against the wall.
Yeah. We got the joint surrounded.
The joint.
Send a couple of the boys up there. Not that there's any hurry. He's got no place to run to. But he runs anyway.
I like the language. We got the joints around it.
The joint.
Yeah.
It's a bit Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
It's from that era too. So yeah. Yeah, he just jumps off the building.
I say,
It's like-
boy. I say, boy. You're.
I say, boy.
That jumping off the building there is Rorschach, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You got more loose screws than a hardware store in a hurricane.
I'm a chicken hawk.
Exactly. A little Gertie the goose. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that stuff was great.
Classic.
Oh, the shadows work is done. It's like he's molding back into a normal person. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, he covers his the hand over the face, and that's lovely.
And then he's a
Doing his tie up.
proper gentleman.
Bruce Wayne.
Where to, boss? Lamont Cranston.
Lamont. Yeah.
Lamont. What posh name that is, eh?
That guy had a great name on that Amber Heard thing, didn't he? That you see that guy? He was called Morgan Tremaine. One of the
Amber
witnesses.
Heard thing. What was?
Yeah, well, you know that
Oh,
Johnny
what?
Depp thing. That not a
Was
film.
right.
The trial.
The trial.
thing.
Yeah.
And there was a
didn't
guy. There was a
deal
guy
with it.
in there, and his name was Morgan Tremaine. And I thought, what a fantastic name that is, Morgan Tremaine, Special Agent.
None of it beats Amber Turd, though, does it? Really?
Oh, did you hear him talking about that when they brought it up in the court? Did you see
Amber
that?
Turd?
Did you see it? They did it on purpose. They were saying, "Are you aware that of the trend that's going around on Twitter, Amber Turd?" And he goes on about 20 minutes about, and they're all saying, I am aware of that." And he's just saying it on purpose. And she's sitting there dying, you know, and Johnny Depp's laughing, you know. It's really good. But Morgan Tremaine was stood out in my mind. It's a fantastic name.
Morgan Tremaine.
Yeah.
I haven't been following much of the trial, but it's
It's done.
hilarious.
It's over.
It's done a year now.
Yeah, I didn't follow any of it, but it did make me laugh.
You're
I
like,
Yeah, celebrity life.
Yeah.
I got to be fascinated by the characters that turned up, like Morgan Tremaine, and there was another guy, some sort of psychiatrist, and he was really strange. And they're all laughing at him. He's just really funny.
All these people are strange.
Yeah.
It's a big income career in accounting.
someone might even say we're strange.
Make
Well,
big money.
yes, I'm
the
sure they
easy
would.
way.
They'd be right.
Yeah. It's like counting money.
Oh yeah, that's an easy way to make it. Yeah.
Learn how to forge
great
your own
thing-
passports, kids.
The great thing about being an accountant is you get to count money for a living and then blame everyone else when you get it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Build your weak, thin body into a powerful, muscular dynamo. Unless,
Look at that. He's a hunk.
he looks like Bobby Ewing, doesn't
Yeah, it's a man from Atlantis.
It's a
Yeah.
man's man. Yeah.
he? Looks a bit chubby to me, to be honest. Isn't it?
Ewing had a thinner figure.
Yeah. Look at that.
Look at
I love the way they've always got some gorgeous girl on their arm at the end of it. You know what I mean?
Hugging him, yeah.
Here we go.
Burbank again. Just rendered.
Is it me or is
incredibly
the perspective on that overhanging awning thing over the door, is that correct or slightly off?
No, it looks correct here.
What thing?
But the angle
Awning.
is odd anyway.
Yeah, it is an odd angle.
Slip-
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it looks correct. Yeah.
from the street.
Well, that's a very wide sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might be it might be a little bit too long.
And Vince Coletta's been there on the previous panel again.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
here.
just looks like a little shifted to the right that it should be.
Yeah,
by.
I don't think that awning is right at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Stretches across the sidewalk.
Yeah, but that sidewalk isn't that long.
Or wide.
Could be. Bigger posh areas of the city, probably. You have multiple people walking through.
I don't know. Maybe. Just seems slightly odd.
Yeah.
Now that's what you call a throwing star.
Yeah.
Get one of those. That's gonna hurt, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's gonna smart to get one of those on your foot or something.
Take his nose off, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you know, I'd be
Right,
leaving them
yeah.
alone, hanging around like Lego bricks.
Like a Nerf disc right in the eye.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's rather
Ooh.
pointy.
Nerf
Shadow
disc.
handles one here in a couple pages. So
Nerf disc.
I've never been stabbed in my life, but one time I like fell off of a drum stool. I was like hanging out with my buddy and we were just jamming and stuff, and I was trying the drums out, and he was telling a joke. It was just hilarious that I leaned back a bit and then the stool balance, kicked me off, and the drum stick like felt like just like I guess I hit it with something and it fell off, and then it like as I was falling, the heel of the drumstick hit the ground, and then I fell on top of it.
Oh,
It caught me right in the rib.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Nearly
that's
broke.
unpleasant.
Yeah, nearly broke the rib, and it felt like I got stabbed. But yeah,
Bruised,
I couldn't
bruised ribs
imagine.
aren't funny.
I couldn't imagine actually getting stabbed, though. Like, that hurt enough.
Yeah.
yeah, my eldest daughter had a incident like that, and she wouldn't stop jumping on the couch, and the ex had a tendency to crochet
Oh.
Crochet.
at that point and left one of the hooks sitting right in between the cushions, and she fell down on her back and got stabbed, and she was lucky the hook actually hit her spine instead of her spinal cord.
Blimey, that's serious.
Got real lucky, bent the hook.
I tell you what I did once. When I was at college, I was putting a patch on my jeans, right?
Rather crazy moment, yeah.
And I stitched it on, and then I left the needle. I just pushed the needle into the settee on the arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot. And my dad came in, and the phone rang, and he answered the phone. And as he put his knee on the right, did I get some shit for that? Oh my God.
I bet you did.
I deserved it. I couldn't. Yeah. I'm wincing now, and it's 50 years ago.
Yeah, same here. About 30. A couple of Treasury editions. Sensation #1, first edition. Great Tarzan. I think I've got that too. Joe Kubert. Beautiful artwork. You get subscribed to DC Comics through the mail.
And do it. Friends with Stanley the Postman.
Yeah. It's Willie Lumpkin. Yeah.
Oh, my ears are starting to hurt.
It's Kurt Swan.
Or is it? Yeah, it looks like Kurt Swan, doesn't it?
It's definitely Kurt Swan. Yeah.
Yeah, that chin.
He was the Superman artist at that point. Everything Superman was all.
It doesn't look like it
drawn
was
by
inked.
him.
It's been inked by him, though. That's why I faltered. But anyway, you're probably right.
Yeah, probably Murphy Anderson might have inked that. That's the way that looks. There we go. Meanwhile, it's a great shot.
And then suddenly the ninja around the corner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's something you never expect.
Look at that.
No one
That city
expects
shot,
Spanish Inquisition.
Just great. Oh, this is all line work here. Just
Lovely.
feathering
Yeah.
in there. Yeah.
When I was a younger man, my
So he got
My
Mickey
father-
in his coffee. That's why this is thinner. The lines are here. There's no real solids to it. He's being drugged.
Go ahead, Whiskey. What are you saying?
so it was a young lad, like my preteens and stuff. My father was getting me interested in martial arts, right? And then he'd be playing around, but he'd like come around the corner sometimes and just like lightly thwop me or whatever, right? To teach me about self-defense, I guess, in his mind. And it'd just be like the ninja thing.
Maybe he
like,
just
I
wanted to smack you upside your head.
most
It'd be
likely, yeah.
like Kato from the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I did learn
Another great set of films. There we go.
I did
So-
learn to block quite effectively.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like that with my daughter. Just to add some relevance, she is a black belt. So
Okay.
My Sifu used to tell stories about his master,
Great shot.
whether they all studied, right? And so his Sifu or whatever, and they'd be walking down the street and going to like a gala or show or something, right? I don't know, all dressed up, and they'd be like all trying to trip each other, and
we're all just kids. That's what it is. We're just children.
Yeah. Children watching Pink Panther movies.
Yeah. Jumping out of fridges and stuff.
Oh, there's Bobby Ewing again.
Bobby. Oh, there he is. Look at him. He's gorgeous. Look at that pout.
Yeah.
Rush this coupon now.
What he's not showing you there is he's actually in handcuffs.
Yeah. It's all the steroids.
Oh, Michael DeFont has just turned up. Hello, everyone. I've been keeping up through the VODs the last few weeks. Sorry about not watching live. That doesn't matter, just as long as you watch.
Yeah,
Thank you very much
exactly.
for watching us.
hey,
Yes, thanks, Michael.
Thank you. Listening to our inane dribble.
Banter.
Do you think this?
Dribble.
Do you think Tarantino was looking at this when he got the idea for Kill Bill?
maybe.
Well, that's
Yeah.
he just loves those old kung fu movies. That's where he got Kill Bill from.
Yeah, I think, but basically both
Those
of
old
them
Hong Kong,
have
what
the
they
same
call
source.
Chopsaki movies. Yeah.
both of them have the same source material. I think that's where
Yeah.
the similarity comes. But you never know.
Such a great story. She's about to be stabbed in the back, and here comes the shadow.
Da, da, da.
Dun, dun, dun. Now, for one of my favorite sequences in comics. Here we go. Ninja's had enough, so he throws a star at the shadow, and he ducks and whips out a knife
Wow.
and stops it.
I-
Sits there spinning on the blade.
Look at that. That's impressive. Straight through the middle.
Yeah,
There
Don't
you
mess
go.
with me, mate.
that's the shadow.
I'm that good.
He is that good. Ching.
I like that it's in the realm of possibility too, because it could be done by a human.
Yes, she threw a similar object. But shadow, she's throwing something. and she's the ninja.
You ever seen those dudes catch like arrows and stuff out of midair?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not awesome, isn't it?
Juwan Jordan, who's in the audience here, his dad could do that.
Oh,
He almost got on America's Got Talent, but it's kind of like once you catch one arrow, what are you going to do next?
Yeah, that's a great talent, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
you catch two.
Yeah, his dad's
You
a great
die,
guy. Does a lot
meddler.
of stunt work. Yeah.
Die. You broke my wrist.
Aye.
She hit me with a toaster.
And I did it with 2 fingers too, so screw you.
Yeah, I was thinking with the talent we got in this panel here, they could probably kick out like a really amazing kung fu comic of some kind.
Probably.
Well, Russ would have to do that because he knows all the moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know kung fu?
What do you mean you do not know kung fu?
No, I don't know kung fu. I know it hit you really hard. That's about it.
I studied wushu and bagua.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
That
Gesundheit.
sounds dangerous.
Wushu is the term for kung fu, and bagua is Chinese wrestling.
I thought bagua was sounds more like a dish that you order at the restaurant.
Yeah,
I'll take a bowl of steaming bagua, please.
extra cheese and onions.
Extra cheese and onions. Yeah.
Isn't that what they want? What the Klingons wanted Riker to eat in that
Exactly.
episode?
You will
Oh,
eat our
what was that?
bagua and like it. Yeah.
Gok.
And he did.
Gak. That's
He
it.
did, yeah.
Gak. Yeah.
He did, didn't he? He did
It's
like
like,
it.
nom, 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 nom,
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this.
And they were pissed off, weren't they? Because he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then that girl got her eye on him, and he came back to that one.
She was killed by a little throwing knife.
Chunk.
Another
Oh,
great
dear.
shot of the city here that you might not be able to see hardly any of the detail of, thanks to the wonderful colorist. But it's all beautiful line work and solids here. Fantastic stuff.
My go ahead.
I was going to say wipe out 2 or more attackers at once. Look at that fist. How not to draw a fist.
Where? Oh dear.
That's awesome.
Make them drop their sticks.
Yeah.
Choppy.
So the two main, or the main thing I did for the longest was Tai Chi, but I did a lot of I did Kung Fu. I did the Bagua, the Chinese wrestling. I touched on some of Bruce Lee stuff briefly. I took one class on what was it, Jiu-Jitsu, and then what else did I do? Shotokan karate and some other stuff. And then just picked up things along the way.
But are you safe when you're walking down the street and 4 guys are coming at you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I can run really fast.
I'm going to say, yeah.
Exactly right.
I've been in brawls before. I actually used to work as a bouncer.
Another great ad. Losers. Commandy again.
Losers.
That was a fun strip. There was a group of their World War II characters together that could never win. So they'd go off on missions and barely survive and end up losing in the end. So I think that was created by Kirby, if I'm not mistaken. Kirby did a run on that when it first started. Yeah.
The thing about Kirby's run was that most of the stories he did were from his experiences. So
yeah,
gave it a twist.
But it was kind of a super group. They took a bunch of these characters that had their own strips in the war comics and stuck them together into a group. So I remember there was a captain with a peg leg or a wooden leg that would figure into the story quite often. Gunner and Sarge, and there's a couple other characters. Series that they put together for that Losers book.
That sounds interesting.
It's like Jonah Hex. It was just a lot of fun to read. It's always action, something going on, and in the end, they were their self-esteem was nothing. Yeah, but we're losers, kind of thing. We just beat back the Nazi horde. Yeah, but we're losers. Okay.
What's that Commandi book about?
It's a human-looking boy that after the Great Apocalypse, when there's all sorts of anthropomorphic, intelligent animals running around.
Weird. Okay.
It's the last boy on Earth.
Isn't it previously called what's that film with Charlton Heston? Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. Yeah, kind of a takeoff of that. Only there's more dogs. The apes, there's a big, bad, overbearing contingency of apes, but the good guys are the dogs. So very classic first issue cover on that of Commandi paddling in a rubber raft with the Statue of Liberty half drowned into the bay.
That's definitely riffing off Planet of the Apes. Isn't it?
Oh yeah, very much so. I've got that book back here on my rack somewhere. Might take a minute to find it. Oh no, doesn't take that long at all. It's right here in front. It's right there.
Oh wow.
That was Kirby after his Fourth World material, and they said, yeah, you can't do those guys anymore, but do you have anything else?
Yeah.
So
did a lot of number ones, didn't he, in that period?
Yeah.
Dingbats and Zeus, was it, and all those?
Atlas,
that's the one.
Yep. He did Atlas, he did Dingbats, he did Commandi and Demon during that period. OMAC, One-Man Army Corps.
That was
created
weird.
Back then. That's very weird. But it was fun seeing, people stuffed into a box, that kind of thing.
In a strange way.
In a strange way. What a crazy period, for comics back then. Just imagination let loose, and all of these artists, guys were working that had their own individual look. I mean, there was no question who did what. You could usually tell just by opening the cover and taking a look at, and not even looking at the credits. I mean, just looking at the quality of the artwork, you'd know.
Yeah, we discussed that a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
That all the comics look the same today.
Yeah. And that, all of them being painted out of Photoshop doesn't help it at all.
Yeah.
Another great issue. Like I said, somebody needs to really reprint these. I'm surprised that it hasn't been done. But there was such after issue 6, there was a static. Ernie Chua did a couple issues. Frank Robbins did a couple of issues. I think it only ran for 12 issues. The Shadow did. There was a great issue of Batman where he crossed over with the Shadow during that time when they had the rights for the character. So
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Batman kind of acknowledged that, I got a lot of inspiration from you.
It's 5-2 now.
It is. Folks, we've been looking at the Shadow from DC Comics from the 70s, issue 3, 4, and 6.
That was well timed, wasn't it?
It was. Well done.
Some really great stuff.
Yeah, it's good fun. That was great.
Quite excellent, actually.
So if you run across these issues from somebody, definitely pick them up. All of them are worth reading. It's a lot of fun. And at the same time, they did The Avenger as well, that Kirby did. I think Ernie Chua come in and did a lot of that after Kirby did the first couple of issues. The Avenger, I think, only lasted for 4 or 5, maybe 6 issues. Also a pulp character from that time period. Want to thank everybody for watching. And we'll do this again. If there's anything else that you want to see us go over, make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what you're interested in us looking at. So in the meantime, Whiskey, tell folks how they can find you.
Let me just open the page there. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can find me on the good old X, where I do 3D art and working on my own comic called Driftwood, writing that, and I got Renzo Rodriguez in the art, and here's some samples of it. There's some 3D concept art I worked on for the project, and yeah, it's a
Nice
story about necromancer. It should be lots of fun. Coming out probably next year.
Cool. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can have a quick look at what I've been working on this week.
Yeah. Here we go.
There's
Give me
another
just a second to
splash.
blow that back up. Boom. Oh man, look at that.
Yeah.
So there's,
Damn.
there's 4 splash pages in a row.
Yeah.
You know, investigating the lore and the history behind Cull and the world that Robert E. Howe has created.
Is this going to be in colour?
It will have a colour. What I want to do is I want to do the inks and then put a wash on them as well, and then just do flat colour behind the lot, so it isn't overdone. But so that's the latest one today. Here you go.
Damn.
On its way soon.
Crazy good.
You can find out more about this at russleach.com. So I've got an email list there. Yeah, I've got all my social media connections, all that kind of stuff. You can also pick up connections to buy copies of Only Death Can Save Us by New Haven and Viking Publishing. You can get that anywhere, but I've the connections are to Amazon, but you can get it at Barnes and Noble, all kinds of places. And also there's my own shop there. You can pick up bits and pieces, merch, and coming soon will be a place where you can pick up original artwork as well. You can always connect with me over on Instagram or Twitter, whatever it is, X, if you want a commission or anything like that. But all of them there, everything you need to know is over at russleach.com.
Cool. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, on the usual social media things, Facebook, Twitter, X, and all those things. You can also get my work in Barnes & Noble. You can get this. This is from New Haven Publishing, about my trip to see Jack Kirby in the late 80s and 90s. And you can also go to Fund My Comic. You can on Tuesday, I'm launching my Hatch annotated 100-page book. And there's also original art for sale on there and lots of other things. Or you can just Google my name and all my books and stuff that are on Amazon will come up and you'll be able to take it from there.
Sweet. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. We go through this every Friday morning at 5 a.m. And we're archived over at the Indie Comics Network, over at Comic Book Black Belt, and at the Randy Zim channel over on YouTube. You can, if you can't get up as early as we do, you can always catch us on the replay or archived over there. We do this every Friday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern time, where we look at some great sequential artwork. I'm not sure who we're going to look at next week, but I've got a lot of examples here, so we'll figure something out. Got a book on Frank Bellamy that I've been meaning to show off as well. There's just a ton of stuff, so make sure you tune back in for that, or go over there and take a look at our archives and look at some great stuff. We spent 12 episodes going through Watchmen, a bunch of episodes on Simonson, on Alex Toth, and there's a lot more to come. This Sunday also, Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. at the same places, Indie Comics Network, Comic Book Black Belt, and Randy Zim YouTube channel. We will be looking at this book. Sorry for the beat up dust jacket, but it's the Great Comic Book Heroes by Jules Verne.
Wow, that's going to be good.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's done in the late 60s that Jules Pfeiffer actually got the rights to reprint a bunch of the great superhero stories from his youth, and he put them all together into a book and kind of ran a little explanation in the front as to why they were so important and why they had such an influence on his childhood. Definitely worth your time to watch. A lot of great classic Golden Age stuff Some stuff to laugh at, some stuff to marvel over. There's a great Spirit story in there. There's Superman, Batman. All of the greats are in there, and then maybe even a couple that you haven't heard of before. So that'll be this Sunday at 9 a.m. on the Sunday Funnies. Hope to see you there then. If you want to see some of my stuff, you can go to aerocomics.store, where you can find such books as HeroBot Zero, which is a book that I did, a character I created, 3-foot-tall giant robot fending off giant monsters from his city and other large menaces. There is also, there's Revolt, which is a collection of short stories. Glenn has a short story in this issue in particular. I have a short story in there as well. There's 2 issues of HeroBot Zero available. And Calico's Shard, which is a fantasy book that I wrote and created with artwork by C. Michael Lanning. And Paragon, which is a superhero story that I wrote with artwork by J.R. Harris. As well as, I think The Fool is up there by now as well. That's a great book that turned out real well. I just finished lettering another book that we'll be offering over at Fund My Comic here shortly. And right now, if you go over to Fund My Comic, take a look at the Out of Obscurity anthology, a group of public domain heroes, great short stories by a great group of talented folk that all in one book. A nice self-contained collection. There's the Fool cover right there. That's also available as well. If you want to get a copy directly from Fund My Comic, that's over there as well for a short period. Still, until we fulfill all of that campaign, and then we'll take that off and we'll start the next one. So, everybody, we wish you a great weekend. Have a great rest of your day. We're so happy that you joined us. We want to, if you enjoyed this program, make sure you tell your friends. So we need all the help we can get, especially against these YouTube algorithms and such. And we love doing this. We do this because we love the art. We love the art form. We love this business that we're in. And we try to show off some of the positives, some of the great stuff that's out there that very few people even know exist anymore. And that's why we like showing it off. So remember, folks, hating ain't creating. Make sure you go out there and try to talk positively about this business you're in. If you love this business, show that you love this business. If you love this art form, if you're as entertained by it as we are, show that off too. Don't be afraid to tell folks about how great comics are. Anything else?
No, you just said it all.
Said it all.
There you go.
All right, folks, take care. We'll see you soon. Deeply appreciate you being
See
here.
you later.
Just barely under 2 hours this time. That's kind of a
Pretty good.
Kind of a new one for us. Yeah.
That's what done you.
HR, take care. Thanks for being here. Juwan, thanks a lot for being here. Where is Sugar Crisp at this point? He usually pops in. Michael says, have a good day, everyone. You too, Michael. Deeply appreciate everybody here. Remember, go over to the Indie Comics Network and take a look at that programming. There's a lot of great stuff up there by a wide variety of folks covering a wide variety of topics. So make sure you go over there and check it out. We'll see everybody soon. He said, stalling for time as he looks for the proper closing. There we go. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Some men just want to watch the world burn. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
Bullshit?
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready! The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
A bullshit? A bullshit?
Thank you, notes.